94% of young people say they struggle with mental health every month. They grew up inside a social media loop that never turns off, where even their self-worth is run by algorithms. Rising rents, tuition spikes, AI shortcuts that blur reality, and the fear of violence have all stacked up. If everyone now feels driven, exhausted, and judged non-stop, what is really pulling Gen Z apart? And how deep does the crisis go? On average, Gen Z spends more than 4 hours a day on social media. That is over half of young people reporting a daily routine shaped by endless feeds, notifications, and trending content. But the story is not just about time. It is about what fills those hours. Recommendation: algorithms, built to maximize engagement, surface 2 to 3 times more aspirational content than ordinary posts. The result is a steady stream of highlight reels, luxury travel, perfect bodies, viral challenges, and curated success stories. For many, this is not just entertainment. It is a constant yardstick, measuring everyday life against filtered moments and algorithm-approved narratives. This digital environment creates what experts now call the algorithmic bubble. It is a personalized loop where the same types of content and the same standards repeat day after day. Studies show that teens who check likes and follower counts more often spend up to 50% more time on these platforms, and they report higher anxiety levels linked to social comparison. Ephemeral formats like stories and snaps add urgency, pushing users to check in repeatedly for fear of missing out. Notifications can arrive 100 times a day, each one a small reminder to tune back in, to see who is liked, who is posted, who is winning the invisible game. Within this system, the pressure to keep up grows quietly but relentlessly. The algorithmic bubble does not just show what is popular, it defines what is normal. For Gen Z, the line between inspiration and inadequacy blurs, and every scroll becomes another round of silent comparison. The mechanics of the feed are not neutral. They shape not just what Gen Z sees, but how they see themselves. Lena started posting on Instagram at 14, first with selfies, then with carefully edited outfit shots and travel photos. By her junior year of high school, she had nearly 30,000 followers and a sponsorship from a skincare brand. But behind the likes and comments, every photo became a calculation. What angle would get the most engagement? Which filter hid her skin best? How much of her life to reveal? The pressure did not stop when she logged off. At parties, friends would ask about her follower count. Strangers recognized her from TikTok and expected her to be as confident in person as she seemed online. Each morning began with a scroll through her own feed, and then through the endless images of others. Bodies more toned, skin clear, lives more adventurous. She started skipping meals and spent hours retouching photos before posting. According to national surveys, 72% of Gen Z say social media has hurt their body image. For Lena, the anxiety grew into panic attacks and insomnia, fueled by the fear that a single unflattering post could go viral or be screenshotted forever. After a year of mounting exhaustion, Lena deleted her accounts. The relief was immediate but complicated. She lost touch with some friends who only connected through direct messages. She worried about losing future opportunities, but she also noticed her sleep improving, and the constant knot in her stomach began to loosen. Lena's story is not unusual. For many in Gen Z, social media is not just a distraction. It is a source of chronic stress, shaping not just how they present themselves, but how they feel about their own bodies, their value, and their place in the world. Average undergraduate debt now stands at $37,000, a number that has doubled since the start of the century. As tuition rises, so do living costs. National median rent jumped 25% from 2020 to 2025, with urban Gen Z renters in cities like New York and Los Angeles facing even steeper hikes. Nearly half of young adults in major metros now spend more than 35% of their income on rent and utilities. For many, that leaves little left over after covering food, transit, and loan payments. Disposable income for urban Gen Z often shrinks to just $420 a month once essentials are paid. Without the safety net of stable, well-paying jobs, side hustles have become the norm. 32% of Gen Z report relying on gig work, for example, delivering food, driving rideshare, or freelancing online to make ends meet. But gig earnings swing wildly, sometimes dropping or rising by 40% from one month to the next. Less than 1 in 6 gig workers has employer health insurance or retirement benefits, adding another layer of insecurity. Sam, a 23-year-old in Chicago, found herself on an emergency housing waitlist after her rent jumped by $300 in a single year. She juggled 2 jobs and night classes, but even then, her savings evaporated with one medical bill. Campus officials say requests for emergency housing have doubled since pandemic relief expired. For Sam and thousands like her, financial stress is not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It shapes where they sleep, what they eat, and how much energy they have left for anything else. The cost squeeze presses in from every side, turning basic survival into a daily calculation. In May 2023, Texas A&M made headlines when 15 freshmen failed their final writing assignments for using ChatGPT without permission. The university's investigation revealed more than just a case of academic dishonesty. Group chats showed students trading prompts and drafts generated by AI, anxious about falling behind in classes where expectations kept rising, but time and energy kept shrinking. For some, the temptation to let AI do the heavy lifting was hard to resist, especially with tuition bills and part-time jobs demanding their attention. The fallout from the scandal rippled through campus. Some students argued they never got clear guidance on what counted as cheating in the age of AI. Others admitted that relying on shortcuts had left them unsure whether they could write a research paper or solve problems without digital help. Professors, meanwhile, scrambled to rewrite syllabi and swap essay assignments for in-class presentations, hoping to outpace the tech. By the end of the semester, confusion and mistrust hung over classrooms, and the question of what students were actually learning became harder to answer. Surveys from the same year found that nearly a third of undergraduates admitted to using AI tools for assignments in ways their schools would consider dishonest. Employers, too, began to notice a difference. In 2024, 44% of hiring managers said recent graduates lacked basic writing and problem-solving skills, blaming over-reliance on digital shortcuts. For Gen Z, the promise of instant answers comes with a hidden cost, a nagging sense that the skills they need for the real world might be slipping through their fingers, one shortcut at a time. On a Wednesday morning in March 2023, a lockdown alert swept through Denver East High School. Students crouched under desks, texted parents, and waited for updates as rumors of an active shooter tore through group chats. The alarm turned out to be false, but the panic was real. That day, counseling requests at the school doubled, with lines outside the nurse's office and teachers reporting students too shaken to finish class. Nationally, 85% of Gen Z now list gun violence as a top fear. In the weeks after the Denver East incident, therapists documented a surge in anxiety, sleep problems, and students asking to transfer or study online. Sam, a sophomore, described checking exits during every class and jumping at loud noises. For many, the threat isn't just a headline. It's a constant background hum, fueling a sense of vigilance that never fully fades. Omar's phone buzzes before sunrise. Another delivery request, another chance to keep the lights on. 3 apps run side by side, each one sending new orders, reminders, and pings. By midnight, he has counted more than 80 notifications, each one slicing into his focus. Sleep is a luxury. 53% of Gen Z say their nights are broken by stress or screens. One biometric study found that even a week of 6-hour nights spiked cortisol, the body's stress hormone, and made it harder to recover. Omar dozes off at stoplights, forgets which building is next, and wakes up feeling more tired than before. The body keeps score, and the exhaustion does not fade just because the sun comes up. Right now, nearly half of young adults are medicated for anxiety or depression. These are numbers no generation has faced before. The pressures are not slowing down, but neither is Gen Z's determination to adapt. The real test is not how they cope. It is whether the world is willing to change with them.